What is everyone? Welcome back to another episode of our Doodle Empire series, and today we are doing episode number 2 of our World series. Let's get into it. So, episode 1, we saw tensions rise heavily. We saw Mozambique become a power and weaken, and we will see what's happened. A conflict broke out, a border fight happened between Egypt and the West Africans, and we will see what happens. So, let's go over it. So, we're going to load in. As you can see, so we have, let's go over all the countries before we start, okay? So we have 5 countries. Mozambique, click on it. Mozambique is the oldest. West Africa, they broke away from Mozambique. We have the Somalians, who are their own thing. They used to own this. They got kicked out, and they regained it last episode. The Egyptians gained independence from these guys, and Arabia is its own thing. And these two engaged in a border conflict. Basically, West Africa sent troops to probe this, see if they could, and Egypt fired back, which understandably so, by the way. Arabia broke away from Egypt. They want to form independent Arabia under their flag. What they're trying to do. So we'll see if this evolves. For context, West Africa and Somalia have their own military alliance. They both hate Mozambique. And you're never going to guess who's reached out to Egypt for military alliance. Yeah, that's right. Never going to guess who. Egypt and Mozambique will sign the military alliance. Once again, this is secret. Neither pack knows about each other's alliances. This might turn into a disaster. And we will see if it does. Yes, he spelled Mozambique. I misspelled it, didn't I? I know I did. Yep. Wait. Oh, I don't think I did. Okay. So, for context, just to make sure everyone knows, this is West Africa, okay? And this is Somalia. This is Egypt, and this is Mozambique. So Egypt has the advantage, being able to easily defend against the West Africans, because West Africa is mostly based here. They got some troops all the way here. And these colonies, they're not really a fan of being governed down here. That's what I tell you. They could break away. As for Egypt, Egypt had the advantage of being way more stable. They also can easily counter these guys. However, they worry about Somalia. Arabia is neutral. We're just getting independence, and for right now, you're going to stay out of it, which is understandable. And then, Mozambique, the strongest country, they're weaker now, but they still can, if they play their cards right, they can learn the lessons they learned from their third war with Somalia. They can actually win this one. The third one was mostly a bunch of mistakes because they encircled their capital. It's not their real capital. They moved it to up here. But now they know it's in the real capital. And thanks to Egypt telling them, because once again, Egypt used to be a part of these guys, and the guy who founded Egypt, he was a general who was born up here, and he fought in the war. However, he really wanted to form an independent country, but he knows where the capital is, so he tells the Mozambicans, so now they're going to have their navy siege it. Somalia has the advantage of being able to up here, but if someone knows about it, it can easily just take it rapidly. Yemen wants independence, because Yemen used to be an independent country for like a while, like probably 20 turns or so. They broke away from Somalia, and Somalia took them back. They're going to be a mess. So, let's go over it. Okay. So, basically, these two shoot at each other. If you're curious, the aggressor was these guys. They shot first. They shot these guys. They probed them. They triggered the war. Egypt fired back. And then this will, activate their alliances. So, once again, these two are in an alliance, and these two are in an alliance. So the first move will be made by Egypt, because Egypt has the advantage of being able to quickly attack. Egypt will quickly start to dominate. It will rapidly start moving in North Africa. Then, Mozambique, the conflict will start. And a new nation will rise during this. It's going to be a mess. So you know how Egypt has colonies that are very unstable? You're never going to guess what happens. You guys know Italy? Yeah, that's right, they exist. So Italy's going to declare independence. which once again, very understandable. And Italy is going to quickly gain this, and it is going to be a disaster. Italy will quickly sign an agreement with Egypt, basically saying, we promise we won't attack you if you accept our independence. And Egypt will quickly accept this deal. That's going to be able to quickly start to curb stomp the West Africans. Then Egypt will officially sign a pact to not attack each other. And West Africa is already losing. So West Africa will counterattack. They can't really do much. They can't really attack Italy. And so as a result, it will start to move against Mozambique. And they are going to make a landing right here. They're going to slowly but surely move in. Their main goal is to get to the city. This is where they sign the agreement to make themselves independent. And they're going to encircle it. And let's see what happens next. Mozambique will quickly respond. The Navy will take the capital in a shock. And they're forced to quickly march along Victoria. And the Mayans, they were not expecting this at all. And it's going to be a disaster for the West Africans because they get encircled. And Mozambique, they're not messing around. They get a new leader. And this guy, Dimitri, he may be divisive. He is unlike his unlike the former leader. This guy is not peaceful. He has no qualms of attacking. This is the benefit. What will the Somalians do? They're gonna find ideology. And this one will be known as the absolute monarchy. So basically, it had a semi-constitutional one or a semi-absolute one. Now this is a completely absolute monarchy. This guy, he's kind of insane right now. He retakes the capital, and he retakes this region, but his forces are losing because their capital got taken over. He's not attacking Egypt. This is a pretty big mistake because Egypt has to mop up this last cell, as you can see. So now Egypt is pumping in troops, and they're going to quickly start to dispatch troops to slam the capital. You guys know Arabia, so you're never going to guess who just started attacking. Egypt and Arabia will quickly sign an agreement, basically saying you take over all of Arabia if you want. We agree. And so Italy, Egypt, Arabia, and Mozambique will all sign an alliance to take out Somalia and West Africa because Italy wants to get West Africa out of Europe. Egypt wants to get West Africa out of their land. Arabia wants to get the Somalians out, and they also want to be able to keep an independent country. They want to resurrect Yemen. And Somalia wants to cripple Mozambique, and Mozambique wants to regain parts of West Africa, and they want to regain this land they took from Somalia, and Somalia got it back. So we'll see what happens. Mozambican forces are going to quickly start to march, which is a benefit, once again. And their navy is going to quickly take the West African capital. They're going to link up with their troops, and this is a big blow because they're a federation. And thing is, their president has been captured. And this guy, he's the president, okay? He's the Federation president, and he gets taken to a prison. And the prison is... I'm gonna get rid of this. This is inaccurate. This is old. And this prison is right around here. So where he is housed right now, and the president is I'm just gonna write N.A. And let's see how the Federation handles this. So their armies are in disarray at this point because they lost their president. And so what's gonna happen is this front is they're gonna hit the capital and they're gonna push back, but no one's giving them orders. And so they're gonna take this land, but after that they don't know what to do. So they're gonna not be able to move much. They're gonna take over this island again, but like hold on. Not sure what to do. So once again, Italy and Egypt have an agreement to not attack each other for right now. And Arabia, well, they're going to continue their plans. They want to take over all of this. Then we have another new nation. And this time, it is Spain. Spain will become a thing. So I mentioned this war would be quite important. This is why we're having a ton of independences. Spain is going to quickly begin taking their territory. And Spain's able to gain all this, that's mostly because, once again, West Africa is pretty much crippled. Like, their forces are dead. And Spain... Okay, what will they adopt as their ideology? So they're not going to adopt absolute monarchy. They're not adopting a regular monarchy. They don't adopt a federation, so we're going to be a federation. And once again, you guys are independent technically, but they have to have an ideology. It wouldn't let me skip it. If it did, I think it would crash the game or something. It's like a mess if I do that. So I don't think I can. I think it like breaks if I try to skip it. So because if I could, I wouldn't give them an ideology, but I have to. So Spain will take over all this. Now it's gonna start an invasion. They cut off West Africa. And Italy is going to gain the rest of West Africa, their empire. And this is the agreement they make. Italy will gain all this Balkan territory. It figures as to why, it is because Egypt just mostly wants to have friendliness with Italy. They want to be friends with them. Because that means they worry about Italy messing up their huge mass thing they're planning. And so in exchange for gaining this territory, they want to be alliance with Italy. They already have one. These guys are going to form an alliance. As Arabia. Mozambique is doing pretty well. So Arabia is going to continue gaining ground. They landlock these troops. They will officially start to take over more and more. They take over this island and they will siege the capital out. And yeah, Arabia is about to fall. I guess Somalia and Arabia. As you can see, their fate is sealed. Somalian forces are going to start pushing back, however. They will adopt a new ideology, that being a monarchy. They will build a castle in a desperate move. They build it right here. They're looking at this. They have another new nation. And West Africa is now in a much better place. However, their leader is captured. And so West Africa is going to leave the war. And that is because, to put it to you simply, their leader's been captured and they don't want to lose land. And so they will agree to sign a armistice with the Mozambicans. They will also agree to sign peace deals with Italy, Egypt, Spain, and it will additionally agree to recognize Arabia. And so these guys are actually, once the war is over, they're gonna all meet in the Mozambican capital, Lake Malawi, to discuss an agreement. In the meantime, we have another new nation. So you guys know how I said Somalia is pretty unstable. So the leader is a guy named Godfrey, okay? Or Godfrey, right? So he'd be an absolute monarchy. However, because of the fact that they're losing, he becomes a regular monarchy again. But the people, they don't like him anymore because he's using the war pretty badly. And so they will form a new republic, and they're going to call themselves the New Republic of Somalia. And these guys are going to quickly retake the old capital. If you're curious, this was their old capital. And they are going to march on it. The Republican forces are going to be split. If you're curious as to why, it is because... I'm just going to ignore it, because it wouldn't even make logical sense right now. So now build a fort to commemorate this. Fort Peace. And so Egypt is going to get a split. However, Egypt is going to give this region independence, and that is because they don't want to deal with a huge rebellion. So they're going to call these guys to be independent. You guys are the Anatolians. It is nice brown. Not my favorite, but it works. And they're gonna gain all of this. It's a good amount of territory, but Egypt will agree to give it up for peace. So that way Egypt can now focus on the more important things, such as forming a government. We're going to go for democracy. Shocker. You guys are our first democracy. Technically, Somalia is the republic, but you're our first full-fledged democracy. I'm pretty sure. I mean, technically, West Africa is a democracy. They're a federation. And they elect their leader, but he got captured during the war, so they can't really do elections right now. Plus, not to mention, they're on war for now. And so as a result, you guys, the Republic of... So Egypt is finally going to hopefully attack. We have another nation now, and this is a real benefit. These guys will become the new Victorian state. And these guys basically want to be their own thing. They basically say that, look, our main goal is to be an independent thing. And to put it simply, Mozambique and all the other countries, they will all collectively agree that this is a good idea. And they're going to officially they're going to recognize these guys. And this is a major success for them. They've been recognized by all these groups. And you guys have a leader of Somalia. He's on the run right now. The Republic of Somalia are continuing to make ground. Then we have Arabia. They will do the same thing. And now Somalia is officially landlocked. And in this fort, Godfrey is captured. Troops from the Victorian state, Mozambique, Republic of Somalia, Arabia, West Africa, and Egypt will capture him. And they will put him... they officially opt to put him on trial. They drill in the same cell as this guy. And basically what happens is we're going to sign a treaty in Lake Malawi. So you know the Somalian Kingdom? For right now, they're going to be blacked out. What this means is they are unclaimed. And this is because like a buffer zone at this point. No one knows what to do with this. This fort is they opt to keep it. However, it's unclaimed, so they get rid of it. So this is our new thing. So it's up to the basically they make the agreement, right? So let's go over the agreement. So basically, this is the officially going to be called the Agreement of Malawi. So let's go over it. So in regards to Europe, Spain, Italy, and Anatolia, all their independence this will be recognized by every winner. That's what they agree on. Additionally, Arabia will be recognized as the owner of Arabia now. In addition, Egypt will be recognized as the formal owner of this land. The Republic of Somalia will officially be recognized as the successor of the Somalian Kingdom. The Victorian state will officially be declared to be a neutral territory that ensures peace in the region. Mozambique will be given reparations from the treasury of the Kingdom of Somalia. They basically just take all the money from the treasury of the kingdom. This is not affect the Republic. They're obviously separate things. West Africa is forced to renounce. They're forced to recognize these new colonies, recognize these new countries. However, they're not going to lose any territory from the Mozambicans because Mozambique got pushed out. And additionally, the civilian government, led by the what's it called, a council of the Federation presidents, they all collectively agreed to sign peace. So that's what not getting punished. So in the agreement, Mozambique is not going to take any land from West Africa, so they basically got off scot-free, minus their leader being captured, and their leader, he's officially back. On the other hand, he's still in jail, so they are going to basically, they're going to give the, so what they're going to do is I'll explain. So basically, they're going to give the leader, he's not going to be the leader anymore. The reason is because, they're not legally allowed to anymore because, they're gonna give this guy his own, like, they're gonna give his own, like, castle, if you will. It's like his pension, if you kinda. It's like his pension, pretty much. You're gonna name it. It's like his personal living space now. It's pretty big. So you got off pretty lucky. They're gonna name a new capital. They're gonna name this thing Unity. Unitaria. Then the capital after their union. And so their leader is Council. How do I spell it? Council. Can't spell that word. Hold on. Council. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, I spelled it right on my phone somehow. Alright. Console. Okay, good. Console of Federative Leaders. So they agree on to make their leader they have a vote. So they have a voting system in place now. Instead of having one president, they have multiple. They all vote. If it's a tie, it's a nationwide referendum. So he's released from prison, obviously. The Godfrey guy, he's in prison now. Because, man, knows what to do with him. Oh, but if you're curious, this is temporary. The Arabian claims this is like temporary. They're debating whether or not to partition this region. We're gonna keep Somalia as a buffer state. So for right now, we're gonna fix up the borders, and after that, we're gonna end the video because this war is pretty important. But we're gonna end it now. We're actually gonna clean up the borders before we do. So let's go over one thing I'd like to say before we end. So one key thing is that this is a pretty important episode because this basically ends the conflict that Mozambique and Somalia had. Here's why Somalia lost is because Somalia had the issue of being focused on several fronts. They had the Arab front. They had their front with Egypt, which they didn't really focus on, which is a big mistake. They focused more heavily on Mozambique and taking over and ensuring that the capital was saved, which was a big mistake once again because they did not think that their capital being moved was known. Because no one knew about that. They didn't think. Because they forgot that when they invaded, when the Egypt declared independence, they forgot that the general they didn't know about the alliance either. If they knew that, they would have moved the capital back, or they would have, like, did something different, but they never knew. So that's the reason why they knew. So this is a new map of our Africa. We have new European countries too. And I think that is our new map. So once again, we're going to partitioning of Somalia. So you see how the colonies go in the next episode. So with that being said, we're going to save this as World Series Episode 2. Perfect. Amazing. I love the splash screens. That being said, good. Bye guys.